Well, we've lost again. It's quite an unbelievable Arsenal performance, really. Just an unbelievable game, really, from start to finish. I think, first and foremost, let's say that Chelsea deserved to win that game. They were the better team. They kind of dominated Arsenal from minute 1 to minute 90, even though Arsenal going forward at times were irresistible, and we did have a couple of chances and sharpened up defensively in the second half. In the end, Chelsea ultimately deserved this win. But there are so many problems for Arsenal, and it is an unbelievable Arsenal performance for not just the right reasons, but mainly the wrong reasons as well. Welcome back to the new season of analysing Arsenal, and it doesn't get much better, really. These are my thoughts then into the game at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea hosted Arsenal. A new era as Sarri faced Unai Emery for the first time. Well, we played in pre-season and beat Chelsea on penalties, but this was where really the nitty-gritty and when things really got underway and where the game really kind of mattered, really. That pre-season game when Chelsea faced Arsenal is irrelevant, really. It all comes down to this game, really. Chelsea building on their promising 3-0 victory over Huddersfield on the opening weekend of the season. Arsenal looking to bounce back from their disappointing defeat against Manchester City, and you know, I wasn't scathing last Sunday. You know, I know that this is not going to be a quick fix. This is going to be a much more of a long kind of, you know, it's going to take time, and I think that's the main thing. It's going to take a lot of time for Unai Emery's methods to really come to the forefront, and we start to see the benefit of an Unai Emery side. Having said that, though, there are a number of things in today's game which was just simply and utterly just disgraceful, really, from an Arsenal perspective. And you know, I'm frustrated, but you know, it's harsh, you know, to have on one hand Manchester City, then Chelsea, you know. And I said earlier in the season in an analysing Arsenal video that I did in pre-season that, you know, I actually think it will show us exactly where this Arsenal side are playing two of the big boys at this early stage. And what it has showed is that Arsenal are just, I mean, nothing's changed really from a defensive standpoint, and they just don't know what to do. I mean, this whole kind of Unai Emery wanting to play out from the back, and like I said last weekend, when it comes off and when you do it right, it is absolutely spellbinding, because you can, you know, start and kind of two passes from your goalkeeper to you being in on goal and playing out from the back, you know, a ball to your right back, they swing it right up the field, 3 passes, you're in and you score. And you know, when you play at the back and when it comes off, when you execute it correctly, it's absolutely outstanding. But you know, we just don't. And, you know, in many ways, we're actually putting more pressure on ourselves because Petr just simply does not know how to play out from the back. The defenders, I mean, 9 times out of 10 we pass out from the back, Cech passes it to either Bellerin or Morata, it switches out to our fullbacks, and then they pass it back to Cech, who lumps it upfield. And, you know, he could have just done that in the first place, really. But, you know, from a defensive point, you know, it doesn't matter that we've got a new manager. Defensively, we still have to be solid. And I know that we've got a new boy in Socrates, but we're just weak. We're absolutely weak. You know, we're just as bad, if not worse, than we were last season. I mean, you know, the first goal from Marcus Alonso running down the left-hand side, and he just puts one ball into Pedro, who slots it in. The second goal that Morata scored, and, you know, Chelsea taking a 2-goal lead inside the first 20 minutes, and they were battering us in the first 20 minutes. They were dominating us. There's no two ways to make around that. You know, we were getting absolutely ripped to shreds in that first 20 minutes. But the second goal was criminal. I mean, you've got Mustafi on Morata, and he's just watching him. Morata's running, Mustafi's running, he's not making a challenge, he doesn't bring the man down before he gets into the penalty box. He's just tracking him. He's just watching him. You can't do that. You know, you're asking, playing out from the back, you're asking to be killed. But, you know, more than that, you can't just run with a forward, because once they get into the box and he turns and just gets a little bit of space and gets further, then Mustafi, you're in. You are simply in, and, you know, I said to my dad, it's 2-0. I said it's 2-0 even before it became 2-0, and you can't do that. You simply cannot do that. It is criminal. Having said that, on the positive, you know, Arsenal going forward did and had some great moments, And I think also Chelsea are, you know, vulnerably defensive, and, you know, they can't defend. I think they can defend slightly better than we can, but still they're not anywhere strong. You know, going forward they're absolutely brilliant, Chelsea, but from a defensive kind of standpoint they still, you know, very much need to improve after, you know, under Sarri. But, you know, what was so frustrating is that we went 1-0 down. Aubameyang had a chance, ball put into the box from Bellerin, and he just skies it. He then has another golden opportunity, which he just, it's basically like a carbon copy. I think it was actually Mkhitaryan who skied it first, and then Aubameyang had the same, you know, sort of chance. It kind of went over, and it was the easiest chance. I could have scored it. I literally could have scored the chance that Aubameyang had. It was just a simple ball that was whipped in, and it went past, you know, Kepa, and Aubameyang has just got to slot it calmly and collectively into the back of the net. He skies it, and then 55 seconds later we're 2-0 down. And you can see the frustration on Unai Emery's face. You can see the frustration round Stamford Bridge, particularly in those Arsenal fans looking and thinking, you know, that could have been 1-1 and now we're 2-0 down. But we did get back into the game on 37 minutes. Mkhitaryan's shot, that just, as on the edge of the box, it was an absolutely ridiculous shot. And even though, you know, Kepa got a touch onto it, he couldn't, no goalkeeper's going to save that. It was just a ridiculous shot from Mkhitaryan. And then the second goal that Iwobi scored 4 minutes from half time, a ball that went down the right hand side, he put it, you know, across. It was, you know, Bellerin going down the right hand side, Bellerin put it across, and Iwobi slotted it in, very much similar to the Mkhitaryan chance that Mkhitaryan skied and the Aubameyang chance that he skied. You know, we could have been like 4-2 up at half time alone if Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang took the chances before Mkhitaryan, you know, gave us a guide and a goal to get back into the game, and then, you know, Alex Iwobi getting the equaliser. And at 2-2, you were just thinking, firstly, what a game this is going to be, and secondly, that, you know, we were stating all throughout that kind of first half that if Arsenal can just get to half-time, beat it 2-0 down, you know, Arsenal are desperate for that half-time whistle. In retrospect, Chelsea were, you know, determined to get that half-time whistle, because as soon as Arsenal got that goal from around about the 35th minute, the last 10 minutes of that first half, Arsenal were on top. However, in the second half, they didn't kick on. They didn't, you know, keep that dominance. In fact, Chelsea dominated that entire second half mostly. Arsenal had a couple of chances here or there. Lacazette and Ramsey came on. Ozil came off. I think Ozil, I mean, what did he do? What the fuck did Ozil do throughout that whole 90 minutes? He did absolutely nothing. And, you know, the boos were ringing out as he was, you know, trotting off the pitch. But, you know, he just, as a number 10, he offered nothing. There was no service. There was nothing that he did whatsoever. And, you know, it was just, it was frustrating to see Ozil in the big games. 9 times out of 10, Ozil just doesn't perform. And, you know, new season, same Ozil. He did nothing in this game. I'm not just putting the blame solely on Mesut Ozil, but, you know, for a player of that kind of quality and that kind of calibre, in these type of games, you want those type of players to, you know, grab the game by the scruff of the neck and just move along with it. And I've said it so many times on our lines in Arsenal with Mesut Ozil. He just rarely does that. Against the lesser teams, he's a joy. But he didn't do anything today. Although, having said that, Ramsey didn't do much when he came on. He had to have a chance right at the end of the game. But, you know, in the final kind of 10 minutes, Marcos Alonso, you know, and he was absolutely brilliant, assisted the first goal. Hazard, when he came on, just was, you know, and I think, you know, Eden Hazard was probably the difference why Chelsea won it. But overall, Chelsea was just a better side. But Hazard kind of, you know, cemented that and got them that third goal. He went into the left-hand side, passed it across. Alonso got goal side better check and just slotted it into the back of the net. And, you know, it's been a tough start for Unai Emery to have Manchester City to open up his, you know, Premier League account, and then Chelsea away. You know, it can't get much more, you know, tougher than that. We've got now West Ham at home, but, you know, it's not a time to panic, but we have got to, I repeat, we have got to, and surely we must strengthen up defensively, because we are not going to win anything. We're not going to get into the top 4. We're not going to do anything of any accord defending like that. It was absolutely disgusting defending, and even though we've got a new manager, you know, it's the basic fundamental, you know, rules and objectives that you must abide by when defending. You know, closing down space, tracking runners, you know, being determined to, when you lose the ball, to run back and get that ball. There was no determination in that Arsenal defence, and there hasn't been for, you know, many a long day. You know, we lose the ball and there's no urgency. There's no urgency in our defending. I don't think going forward we were, you know, very clinical, even though we scored 2 goals. I mean, we had 15 shots, only 6 on target. Chelsea had 24 shots, 11 on target, coincidentally. But we just We got battered to some degree again today, but we still showed encouraging signs of going forward. But that was only because of Chelsea's own defensive problems. You know, had Chelsea been, you know, sharp defensively, this could have been 3 or 4, you know, nil to them, really. But there's a lot of problems, and, you know, like I said, you know, I'm not ranting and raving at Unai Emery personally, because I could see what he's trying to do, and, you know, I saw him so vocal and so adamant on the touchline from minute 1 to minute 90, and I could see what he's trying to achieve and what his methods are, but the players are not, you know, following those methods yet, but they're not doing enough defensively, and, you know, there is no excuse for that whatsoever. You know, I don't care if we've got a new manager, I don't care if he's asking you to play a different way, you have to defend, and basic schoolboy defending errors simply cannot be in this Arsenal side, and if they are, we are going to lose many, many, many games. And, you know, it's not a great start for Unai Emery. It is not a great start whatsoever, but now we've got West Ham, you know, at home, and that is a chance for us to make a statement and get 3 points on the board. We've then got an international break, so then we can reassess and really go again. I think we've got quite a nice fixture list in September. I'll look at that at a later date. But as for today, you know, well done Chelsea, fair play to them. They played absolutely ridiculously. They deserved to win. We had a couple of decent moments going forward, but, you know, all in all, we were just pretty much, you know, woeful defensively, and it was the same old Arsenal performance, and unfortunately Unai Emery's methods are not working yet, and it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a season of us to just, you know, we just got to be patient, really. And the reason I'm saying that is that we asked for this. We asked for a brand new manager. We got Arsene Wenger out. We've got a new manager, and we asked for this all of last season, myself included. I'm not going to sit here and now say, Unai Emery, get out of our club, or, you know, slate the manager. The players have got to, you know, take some responsibility. They've got to stand up and be counted. And quite frankly, in large parts of tonight's game, they didn't. But, you know, we've now just got to, the boys have got to go back to the training ground and have, you know, a consistent amount of days training and working on those basic errors. You know, those basic defensive lessons have got to be brought back up, and then we could take it from there. And hopefully this time next weekend we will have our first Premier League win, but it's more anger, anguish and frustration for Arsenal, and much more frustration, and not the greatest start for Unai Emery. But we move forward to West Ham. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comment section below. Please make sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I'm going to do sort of like a Arsenal type preview video that I was meant to do, you know, a couple of weeks ago during the international break. I've got other content on the way, lots of important stuff coming up on the channel. I know it's been very, very quiet recently, but I will be addressing that in a future video as well. I'm not going to bother with my Premier League predictions. I'm going to save that for my Premier League season review that I'll do at the end of the season, which is like a yearly thing where I look back to my Premier League predictions and make predictions for the new season. I'm going to be doing that at the end of the season, where I'm making a separate video. But there is going to be some different content on the way, so just stay tuned. And until next time, this is DJ Pepper signing out. Take care, and I shall speak to you all later. Take care, and I shall see you all very, very, very soon.